Hello everybody. Sorry, I've got really bad mosquito bites. Should probably cover up a bit. Sorry that it's taken me so long to upload my next video, but I've been busy. I've been feeling too great mentally again, so like I've been trying to keep myself busy and just be out with friends and stuff like that. So a lot of people have asked me to do a video based on like how I dealt with my breakup and like how to get over it sort of thing, and you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling with trying to deal with all of that. So yeah, no, I'm more than happy to do a video based on that. I just want everyone to know that like I probably won't go into too much detail about my ex and stuff like that, just because obviously he's moved on, he's in a relationship, and I'm not that disrespectful. Like I wouldn't sit there and talk about someone else's boyfriend. So I'm going to do my best to like not really go into detail about that and just give everyone advice on, I guess, how to move forward and become happy when you don't think that you ever will become happy. I know how hard it is because like for months, as I said in my last video, like it took me months to like finally accept. So yeah, like I will talk about, you know, I guess how to cope with all of that and what to do and stuff. So just bear with me because my mind's a little bit all over the shop today. I've been having really bad anxiety attacks today, so my mind's a little bit clouded at the moment, but yeah, no, I will explain everything as best as I can. So after Nathan and I broke up, I was very mentally sick. I think I sort of said in my last video how like I wasn't eating, couldn't sleep. I didn't want to leave the house, like constantly breaking down 24/7. Like I was literally just fucked. Like I did not want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. Obviously I had to because, you know, I have a daughter and she deserves, you know, everything that a good parent would give her. So, you know, I had to try really hard to not only look after a child, but try and look after myself too. So finding the balance of that was actually very, very tricky for me. Like I was struggling with being a mum purely because, you know, anyone who's a mum especially knows how hard, you know, to look after yourself as well as your child is, but especially when you're going through such a horrible time. And I wasn't just dealing with the breakup, like I was dealing with so many other things as well on top of that. So yeah, no, it was a very hard time for me in my life, and every day that I woke up, like I didn't see it getting better. Like I remember I used to sit and talk to mum about it and I'd cry, or, you know, my nan, and just say like, this is never going to get better. I'm never ever going to get over this. Like it doesn't matter what I do or how many people I talk to, or like it doesn't matter how many times I get out of the house, or it doesn't matter what I do, my mind is always elsewhere and trying to distract myself from, you know, constantly thinking about it. But it didn't matter what I did, like I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So yeah, no, I was very sick for quite some time there. Like no one really knew about it just because obviously I didn't exactly want to talk about it. Like it was really hard. I stopped going to my psychologists and stuff just because, you know, I knew that I had to sit there and talk, and like I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. And I held on to hope for months that, you know, we would get back together. Like every time I'd get a message from someone, I just hoped it was him saying, come on, let's do this again. Like, let's be a family, you know. And I think a lot of the reason why I held on to hope was for my daughter. You know, I wanted her to have a family. I wanted her to have a mum and a dad. Sorry, I'll just get rid of this notification. Because I didn't have that growing up, you know, and I know I've had a lot of hang-ups from that. So I didn't want that for her, but I mean, sometimes you can't choose fate. You can't decide fate. So yeah, I had to accept every day that the reality of the situation was probably that we wouldn't get back together, but I had to have hope to try and get through that. There wasn't really anything I did in the way of like being happy or getting myself right. As cliched as it is, yeah, like time heals all wounds. So I just had to go with the flow. Like every day that I woke up, and every day was a new day. And, you know, if I felt really sad, then so be it. I felt really sad. And if I felt good, then I felt good. Like you've just got to ride with it. There's nothing you can do to speed the process up. But one thing I will tell you, that going and sleeping with other people will not help. Yeah, using people as a rebound doesn't help at all. If anything, it actually makes it worse because you're numbing the pain for a certain while until everything catches up. And then when it catches up, it's a lot worse. So seriously, as much as you want to, do not go and get with other people until you are like completely over it. I think this is the first time like since Nathan and I have broken up, that I actually don't want to be with anyone. I'm quite happy to be on my own, and you know, I'm not scared of being not alone, but I'm not scared to be by myself anymore. There was a few relationships that I had this year. Well, like there's like been like 2 people that I've seen that I haven't used as a rebound at all. But as far as the rest go, yeah, like I think everyone sort of knew that that was my way of coping with it. Just because I didn't know how else to cope with it. I've never been through something that hurt me so much, and I didn't know what to do. As I said in my last video, like I completely lost myself in who I was, and I did not know what to do. So I kept trying to find things that were helping, and unfortunately, you know, I did make a lot of stupid decisions in doing that, but I thought it was right at the time, and I thought it was what was going to benefit me and help me, even though it turned out not to. I constantly did things that I thought, you know, oh, this will work, and then turns out it didn't work. So really all you can do is find the balance between being happy and still trying to get on with your life. But as I said, all I can say is like, don't go and get under someone to try and get over someone, because that doesn't work. When you truly love someone, using someone else to get through, it doesn't work. Like you don't get over the heartbreak any quicker. I think once you've truly loved someone like that, love doesn't ever really go away, especially when you've got a child with someone. Like the love doesn't go, it doesn't stop, but you just learn to deal with it and you learn to get on with it. Obviously you stop being in love, like you're not in love with that person anymore, but there'll always be a spot that probably no one else has, just because there is that connection. I don't know, it's really hard for me to explain, as I said, because obviously I don't want to talk too much about things, you know, I have respect for his new relationship and stuff like that. But yeah, like in the way of trying to move on and things that you can do, like talk to people, you know, don't lie and say that you're feeling fine if you're not feeling okay. It's quite normal to be upset over a relationship breaking up when you love someone. Like when you're with someone, you want to be with them for the rest of your life. When you're in love, I mean, you don't ever see you actually splitting and having to go every day without them ever again. So, you know, it's quite normal. Like don't sit there and feel stupid or anything like that just for being upset about it and really struggling, because it is actually quite normal. It's a normal reaction. You know, it's just like a death, except the person's still alive and there's nothing you can do to change it. So that was actually advice my mum gave to me. My mum always said, you know, it's a grieving process just like a death. And I think my mum would know probably better than anyone. You know, she was with my dad for, I think, 10 years or something before he passed away, and you know, that really broke her. So she was quite strong during that, and you know, had to pursue and keep going, and she did. I mean, she got there. She's a perfect example of time heals. Like she still lives with it every day, and she still misses my dad, but you know, she had to get on with her life and make the most of it, and she's in a much better place than what she was. So yeah, time really does heal. I mean, I know you're going to hear it from everybody and everyone says it. I mean, everyone said it to me and I didn't believe it, but it's true. It is true. So yeah, just take each day as it comes. I mean, like if you're feeling sad, then feel sad. If you're feeling good, feel good. If you're feeling angry, then you can feel angry. It's all part of the healing process. You know, if someone had to come to me 4 months ago and said like, you know, are you still struggling and stuff, I would have said no. But yes, I was struggling. It's a hard thing to go through for anyone. But yeah, as I said, you know, with being a single mum and having my daughter, and obviously everyone knows the mistakes that he made. I'm not going to name names because you already know what I'm talking about. But, you know, just even with seeing him getting locked up and, you know, stuff like that, that was really hard for me. That took a toll too, because like I didn't know how long he was going to be locked up for. I didn't know anything, and how did I explain that to my daughter when she was older, if he was locked up for ages and if he kept going back in. And there were always just things constantly running through my mind. You know, trying to like deal with, as I said, being a single mum and having the issues with Nathan that I had, in the way of like, you know, he completely gave up on it. And I'm not saying that to be nasty or anything, so if anyone goes back and shows him this or whatever, I don't really care. Like, I'm over all of that, but this is the truth. It is what it is. He completely gave up on it, and I think that's just because, you know, he lost himself so much. It was sort of the same situation. I mean, everyone's got different ways of dealing with stuff, so for him, you know, he turned to things that he shouldn't have, but that's what helped him get through. So I mean, as disappointing as it was because of our daughter, like, I can't say anything about that because I did things to get over it. He did his thing. You know, everyone gets affected differently from breakups. I guess the difference between him and I was that I had to have Amani. Like, I had her and I didn't have a choice. but to find other ways of going about it rather than drugs and crime and all of that. So, you know, like, I don't blame him. As I said, it is what it is. He had to get through it some way. I think, like, especially after we first broke up, I think nighttime was always the worst. Oh wow, I don't know why I'm getting emotional, that's weird. Just having, I guess, to get used to no longer waking up with that person beside you in the morning and no longer falling asleep next to them when it's been so long of doing that. Like, that's really hard. That's hard for anyone. And that was always the hardest time for me, was first thing of the night, first thing in the morning, you know, waking up by myself, going to sleep by myself after 2.5 years of having someone next to me. It was strange. I wasn't used to it anymore. You know, I'd gotten so used to having someone there that it wasn't right. You know, it sounds pathetic, but even like for ages, I couldn't even go into the supermarket and do groceries. Like, obviously, you know, I'd go and get a couple of things for money, but I wasn't eating anyway, so I couldn't even do that because it was just a constant reminder. Everything was a reminder, like songs, movies, Netflix, even my TV. Most of the time I wouldn't even watch TV because I bought that TV when I was with him, and it just reminded me, and I just couldn't. So yeah, like, as I said, if someone had come to me a few months ago and said, like, do you think you're ever going to get over this? I would have straight up said no. And it's still emotional for me to talk about because it was such a hard time in my life. So, I still do get emotional if I talk about it every now and then. And when I really, really talk about it, it's not really something I've done, you know, since it's all happened. I keep saying it, but, like, yeah, literally time. Like, you've just got to give yourself time, and don't beat yourself up if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, 3 years, 3 months, 3 days. Everyone deals with things differently, as I said, and you can't force things, so you just have to let it be there, and, you know, let the universe do what it needs to do. You would never be handed anything that you couldn't deal with, so please remember that. I mean, I know I probably sound really spiritual or whatever, and I am, like, I'm into all of that, but I do believe that, yeah, you don't get handed anything in this life that you can't deal with. I mean, I've been through a lot, and I've come out of it. So, and you know what, honestly, going through all of that just makes you stronger, and it makes you know yourself more as a person. Like, I have completely learned things about myself now that I never knew. Not only that, but that relationship and that breakup opened my eyes to a lot as to what I did and didn't want in someone, and, you know, what I did and didn't want in myself anymore. Like, I realised a lot of mistakes that I made and what I had to change to be happy with someone else. So, you know, I'm nowhere near as, like, insecure in it when I'm seeing someone now. I'm nowhere near as controlling and stuff like that. You know, I know that not everyone's going to cheat on me and hurt me and do this and do that and be abusive, and, you know, I know when I can trust someone now and when I can't. Whereas before, that just didn't happen. Like, it was really bad in the way of my insecurities and stuff, just because of how bad I'd always been treated in my relationships. So, you know, I've got a lot to be thankful to him for, as angry as he makes me, and as much as we, like, just completely clash as people now. Like, I have a lot to be thankful to him for, because not only did he break me, but he made me stronger. I'm literally probably at the strongest I've been. I know that I can get through anything now. I was in a relationship that was so toxic for 2.5 years, like the whole relationship, and the breakup was fucked up, like so fucked up. There was so many things said and done after it that it would be hard for anyone to deal with, let alone, you know, someone who has the issues that I do. So, I mean, yeah, as I said, like, as much as he's broken me, he's made me stronger, and that's what you need to remember too, that all these things that are going to break you eventually do make you stronger. If they heal you after a year, you're still going to be stronger for it, because you have been through it. You know, like, even getting my tattoos and stuff, or anytime I do something now that, you know, I'm scared about doing, or I know is going to hurt me physically, I'm like, bitch, you have been through so much emotional shit this year, like, as if a tattoo is going to hurt, as if that's going to hurt, as if this is going to hurt, like. And that's what I put in the back of my mind now, that I've been through that, and I've been through so much. I can get through anything. I can literally get through anything now. Yeah, I don't know, like, mine and Nathan's relationship was a lot different to most people's. I mean, we had a relationship no one really understood. Like, we loved each other so much, so much. But when things were bad, they were really bad and very toxic. And you know, it wasn't good for either of us. It was, as much as we brought out the best in each other, we also brought out the worst. So there was a lot of healing to do after the relationship, not just because of the breakup, but because of things that happened in that relationship too that, you know, really fucked me up. And I know that I made mistakes and stuff, so I'm not going to sit here and blame it all on him. But as I said, I don't need to get into detail with all of it. But yeah, no, there were a lot of things that I had to heal from as well. And, you know, trying to find yourself when you've had so long of being lost and losing yourself completely, it's really hard. You know, you've got to find yourself all over again. You need to find who you are and, you know, things that you want to do in life and all of that. So it is a process and it's a journey, but there are so many support systems out there. Like, you know, I know that I'm a bad replier and stuff like that. Like, it's nothing personal. I'm shocking. I'm always busy. I'm always doing something. So, you know, but I'm here. Like, if you want to call me. If that's easier, just call me. If you want to message me, whatever you want to do, like, I will reply eventually. Please just give me time. I'm sorry. Like, I know that I can be really bad, but no, I will get there eventually. And you just have to remember and remind yourself that everyone goes through heartbreaks. I know everyone deals with it differently, but everyone goes through a heartbreak at least once in their life. So, yeah, just keep persisting with it. And, you know, you feel like you'll never fall in love again. It's really strange. You feel like you'll never ever love someone again and that's it. Nah, fuck this. Like, I'm never ever going to someone else. But you do. You definitely do. As I said, like, you know, I had really strong feelings for two people that I've seen after me and Nathan broke up. And, like, I really did care about them, and I never thought I would care about someone like that again, except these relationships were a lot healthier because I knew what not to do and how to actually treat someone properly this time because of everything that Nathan and I had gone through. So just, yeah, have hope that, like, you are going to find the right one and it will fall into place eventually. I mean, as I said, like, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm done with relationships. I don't really care all that much for them. Like, I'm quite happy to be on my own and do my own thing and give my daughter a good life. You know, I've got too many responsibilities now without the freaking stress of a man. I don't really need it. Yeah, and I preferred it, as weird as it sounds. Like, as much as I struggled with sleeping by myself after we'd broken up, I love sleeping on my own now. Like, I have a whole king bed to myself. I've got a master room all to myself, walk-in wardrobe all to myself. Like, I don't have to share. I don't have to worry about cooking for someone every night and making fucking roasts and all of that. Like, I can just do whatever I want. I don't have anyone to control me or tell me where I can and can't go, what I can and can't wear, what I can and can't do with my body. Like, I'm a free person. I can do whatever the frick I want to do, and it's the best feeling. You know, ever since I was like 13, 14, I've never been able to not be in a relationship. I've had to have someone there 24/7 because I didn't know how to be on my own. But yeah, for now, like, I actually can be by myself and I'm happy to be on my own. So it will happen. Like, just let it, yeah, as I keep saying, like, let life take its course and just have faith that, you know, every day that you wake up and feel whatever emotion you're feeling is just a day closer to being truly happy in yourself. And it will happen. I know it feels like it never will, but trust me, you're talking to someone who was literally that sick that I can actually turn around and say it does happen. It really does happen. So yeah, just hang in there. Like, no, I haven't really covered that much today or whatever, but like, as I said, I've been really anxious and stuff today. Like, I went out to my horse and yeah, I couldn't even ride her. Like, I was just fucked. So yeah, that happens for me sometimes. So my brain's very clouded and like, I can't really think of everything to say. But if there's anything else like that you want to know or that you want to talk to me about, like, go for it. As long as it doesn't really involve questions about mine and Nathan's relationship or anything to do with him, that'd be really great. Just because, as I did say and I've said several times now, like, it's not something that I really want to talk on. I mean, it's in the past for a reason, and you know, I don't really want to keep bringing those chapters back up. I mean, there's still a lot of anger and hurt there that I don't really ever see sort of going, if that, I don't know what happened. I don't really ever see going. Like, there's too much anger and hurt there, and I don't really like talking about him. So, and not only that, like, as I said, you know, he's in a relationship now, and I respect that. I respect them and whatever it is they're doing. Like, good on them. I hope they're happy. Honestly, I do. Yeah, it doesn't faze me at all. So, yeah, if you want to know anything else, like, please let me know, or just message me or call me, whatever. Like, I am here, and yeah, just remember that things do get better, and you're talking to someone who knows better than anyone how hard it is. So I'm here for you all. Don't forget that. Stay safe. Enjoy the raining outside. I love rain, so I'm actually quite happy about it. But yeah, stay safe and look after yourself, and I will talk to you guys soon.